District titles and playoff spots are on the line in Week 8 of the Texas high school football season. These are the picks. Welcome into the Picks, your guide to the Texas high school football weekend. My name is Greg Tepper of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com. Thank you so much for tuning in, and this is the home stretch, guys. This is the final third of the regular season in the 2022 Texas high school football season, and there's still a lot to decide, right? A lot up in the air. There are a few teams we feel pretty confident are going to make the playoffs, right? But for a lot of these teams, there's still a lot on the line as far as figuring out if you're going to the playoffs, where you're going to be seated, exactly who you're going to play, what your path to AT&T Stadium is going to look like. Not to mention, you've got state-ranked clashes in every corner of the state. This is a loaded Week 8 slate everywhere that you look. We start today in Columbus. 7:30 p.m. Friday night at Memorial Stadium in Columbus. It is a state-ranked matchup of unbeatens in the 3A ranks as the Hitchcock Bulldogs visit the Columbus Cardinals. What are the keys to this matchup? Key number one, super sophomore signal callers. Super sophomore signal callers. That's what we got in this game because both of these teams have outstanding youngsters calling the shots for their offense. For Columbus, you're never going to believe it, but they've got a guy named Schobel at quarterback. I know, I'm shocked too. Of course, the son of head coach Matt Schobel, Adam Schobel, is the sophomore signal caller for this Columbus team, and he has been fantastic. Razor sharp, completing more than 70% of his passes, 10 touchdowns to no interceptions. He does everything this Columbus offense needs him to do. On the other side, for Hitchcock, if you have not heard of Lloyd Jones III, you are in for a treat. This is one of the most dynamic dual threat playmakers in the state at any level. I'll tell you, we saw him in person at State 7-on-7 in College Station this summer, and all of us at the Dave Campbell's Texas football crew could gather around that field and said, who is that? He is a dynamo, and he will be a lot of fun to watch. But this is a big stage for these two youngsters. Which of these sophomores steps up big? Key number two, Columbus's size. So this is a Cardinals team that I think is going to be pretty clearly the bigger team out there, especially in the trenches. Guys like Hunter Mangum and Dagan Stevens, they've got some beef up front that quite simply Hitchcock doesn't, especially on the offensive line. Now, Hitchcock's defense flies to the football. They have got team speed on that defensive side in bunches, led by their linebacker Austin Case, but they're not going to be the bigger team. This is the classic size versus speed matchup here, especially when Columbus has the ball. So, when these two units collide, both of which have been very good this year, what wins out? Size or speed? And key number three, fourth quarter experience. So, we're into now Week 8 in the Texas high school football season. Both these teams are 7-0, haven't had their open date yet, and have been rolling. But they've kind of gotten here in different ways. Hitchcock has had a couple of big challenges in their path and have had to play close games against both East Bernard and Aledo. They've been tested into the fourth quarter, and they've passed those tests resoundingly. Columbus hasn't. Now, part of it is you shouldn't have to apologize for blowing teams out, which is what they've done, but their closest game this year has been a 22-point win last week against Hallettsville. That's it. That's the closest a game has been. They have been mollywopping everyone in their path. I don't think either one of these teams is going to run away from the other. So if this game is close in the fourth quarter, does Hitchcock's fourth quarter experience give them an edge? Who am I picking? I'm going with Columbus. The Cardinals get the nod here not only because they're at home and not only because of what they've got on the offensive side, but also, something we haven't mentioned yet, their defense is really good, allowing fewer than 9 points per game, led by, surprise, surprise, another Schobel, linebacker Tommy Schobel. This defense has been fantastic. Now, Hitchcock's a different kind of team than Columbus has faced this year because this team has got dudes. Playmakers on the outside, not just Lloyd Jones III, but playmakers everywhere you look on the outside and team speed. This is a fun team to watch, and they're going to be able to get up and down. I think actually a shootout benefits Hitchcock here. I think they have the more high-powered offense in this game. But I think that Columbus's defense is the difference. I think it's close, but I think the Cardinals move to 8-0. It's a huge week in Austin. Let's go 7:30 p.m. Friday night at Tiger Stadium in Dripping Springs. There's another battle of unbeatens as the Dripping Springs Tigers welcome in the Austin Westlake Chaparrals. Here's an opportunity for Dripping Springs to get that signature win as a 6A program. Already got that big win in non-district over Austin Vandegrift. Well, here comes the number one team in the state, riding the state's longest winning streak at 46 games, and Dripping Springs has a real chance to do it. For the first time in what feels like forever, Westlake will not have the best quarterback in this game. I know, it's kind of crazy to think about, but Austin Novosad for Dripping Springs has been absolutely fantastic. And by the way, if you just focus on him, you're really missing what makes this team good, because this defense has been fantastic as well, led by Luca Picucci. Now, they're going up against this Westlake team that has looked like a wrecking machine. They haven't been perfect. They've started slow at times, but they have been very strong, and especially up front, they're so good. Colton Vasek on the defensive side and TJ Shanahan on the offensive line. They mash you up front, and then Jack Kaiser, the running back, and Jaden Greathouse, the wide receiver, do the rest. Look, this is a huge challenge for Westlake, because this Dripping Springs team is for real, but I'm not picking against a 46-game winning streak. Give me the Shaps. Let's go to the DFW, 7:30 p.m. Friday night at Burleson Stadium. It is a big-time district showdown as the Aledo Bearcats visit the Burleson Centennial Spartans. Centennial, fresh off of ending Denton Ryan's 52-game district winning streak, now gets their shot at the king of district winning streaks. Aledo has the all-time Texas high school football record for consecutive district wins. They've won 108 in a row. They have not lost a district game since 2007, and maybe there's something in the water. Last week, we saw both Denton Ryan's long district winning streak, and in the 1A ranks, Richland Springs losing their first district game since 2001. So maybe there's something going on here. Now, for Aledo, this is a team that I think has figured it out, especially offensively, since their 0-2 start. House Henry, their quarterback, their quarterback has been very good. Hawk Patrick Daniels has really stepped up in a big way at the running back spot. For this Centennial team, we know what they're going to do. They're going to grind it out on the ground with Elijah Zay out of that option offense, shorten the game, take the air out of the ball, and lean on that outstanding defense that really led them to the victory last week. Here's the thing for me, and the reason I'm picking Aledo. This Bearcats program tends to really shine best when they're facing a team that's pretty one-dimensional. Now, Centennial can throw a little bit, but that's not their ballgame. They're a team that wants to grind it out on the ground. I think that this Aledo defense is going to be up to the challenge. I think they make just enough plays offensively to escape. Give me the Bearcats. And 7 o'clock Friday night at Ratliff Stadium in Odessa. It's one of the classic Texas high school football rivalries renewed as the Midland Legacy Rebels visit the Odessa Permian Panthers. And look, this is the 65th meeting between these two teams. They do not like each other. This is an arch rivalry. It's classic Texas high school football. Friday night lights, right? This Permian team, I think, has very quietly gone about their business. 6-0. Justice Lara, their running back, has been great. Quarterback Rodney Hall Jr. Coach Jeff Ellison has got this team humming, and there's something special out there in Mojo land. For Legacy, what are they doing early in games? Like the last 2 weeks, it has been unbelievable to see what this team has been doing. So, for example, last week against Friendship, they were down 42-7 at halftime before kind of roaring back and making it a game, but ultimately falling short. The week before that, they were down 41-0 to Judson in the first quarter. After that, they pulled it within, I think they lost 60-50, but like, they got to start faster. Once they get going, they've been really good. Marcus Davila, their quarterback, but they cannot start slow again, especially against this Permian team. So, I think this game is going to be, of course, interesting because of the rivalry aspect. Can Legacy start fast? That's the real question. But for now, especially at home, I lean towards Mojo. But those are far from the only big games in Week 8 of the Texas high school football season. Let's get to the lightning round. I like Breckenridge to stay perfect with a win over Vernon. Give me Corpus Christi Flower Bluff over Mercedes. And I like Albany over Cross Plains. I like Center to get past Van. Eagle Pass stays perfect with a win over Laredo United. And Allen beats McKinney, but this is major upset watch. Biggest game in the Sun City this week, I like El Paso Franklin over El Paso Eastlake. Give me Hemphill to take down New Waverly. And in a battle of unbeatens in DFW, I like Argyle over surprising Frisco Emerson. I think Llano stays perfect with a win over Marion. Give me Lumberton to take down Viter. And I told you it was a big week in Austin. I like Vandergrift over Round Rock. I'm going with Lyford over San Diego. Price Carlisle stays perfect with a win over Cushing. And Belleville surges past Sealy. The dream season continues for San Antonio Davenport. I think they beat Fisher Canyon Lake. Staying in San Antonio, I like Reagan over Johnson. And how about this District 13 2A Division 2? I like Bremont to bounce back against Granger. I'm going with Stratford over Panhandle. Tidehaven beats Wallace Brazos. And remember Carthage? Yeah, they're 7-0. They're 8-0 after they beat Rusk. I like Winsboro over Pottsboro. Brock continues its rebound with a win over Whitesboro. And give me Corpus Christi Calallen over Alice. Huge game in Central Texas. I like China Spring to beat Waco La Vega. Give me Cisco to beat unbeaten Stanford. And College Station gets by Leander Glenn. Battle of unbeatens in the DFW Metroplex. I like Duncanville over Mansfield. Give me Early to get by Brady. And I like Edna over Vanderbilt Industrial. I like Forsan over Anthony. Gunner takes down Surprising How. And I like Klein Collins over Klein Forest. I think Lancaster keeps rolling with a win over Forney. Give me Liberty Hill over Lockhart. And I like Little Cypress Mauriceville over Livingston. Give me Lubbock Cooper over Abilene. Magnolia West outguns Fulshire, and I like Mason over Johnson City. I like West Rusk over Grand Saline. Give me Pflugerville Weiss over Bryan, and Port Neches Groves beats Dayton. I like PSJ North over McAllen Row in the Rio Grande Valley. I like Richmond Foster over Manville in the Houston area, and I like Alamo Heights over Harlandale in San Antonio. Somerset edges Fredericksburg. I like Temple over Hutto, and way out east I like Texas High over Marshall. Out east I like Tyler Chapel Hill in a squeaker over Lindale, and in the Panhandle I like Vega over Groover and Wellington over Memphis. And those are the picks. What am I wrong about? Which games I leave out? Leave comments down below. Don't forget the subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And of course, see us at texasfootball.com. Thanks for watching. Enjoy week 8 of the Texas high school football season. We'll see you.